I'm going to go ahead and kick things over to Aja to walk through essay number 1, which is about writing a short thank you note to someone you have not thanked and want to acknowledge.
So this is a relatively new prompt for Penn. And basically, as you mentioned, it's just writing a thank you note to someone you have not thanked and would like to acknowledge. I have had some students express confusion about this little aside in the parentheses. We encourage you to share this note with that person, and if possible, reflect on it. You don't have to actually do any reflecting in this prompt. So I know that little aside there is kind of confusing, but the essay itself is just the thank you. Any reflecting you do can be done, on your own time in your own journal. You don't actually have to reflect inside the essay itself. So this overlaps with Common App prompt number 4. So if you're going to answer that prompt, I would suggest writing about a more abstract experience or something different so that you don't have that overlap there. And I really strongly suggest choosing someone from your personal life, an academic career or a job experience, and not someone famous or historical figure, unless that person is really critical to your development, because it's going to be that much more personal, when you're writing this thank you note. I've had students express, how much of this should be gratitude, how much of this should be like a backdoor brag because how can you thank someone without explaining the accomplishment you're thanking them for or thanking them for their help with? And my advice to that is be as genuine as possible. Write this thank you note like you are going to give it to them. So if you wouldn't, backdoor brag in this note that you're giving to someone you're thanking, don't do it in your essay. Really, you want that gratitude to be genuine, and you want it to feel personal. So those are kind of my tips for essay number 1. As I mentioned, you don't literally have to send the note, but write it as though you would send it to them. And I think if this is a person who ends up writing your recommendation letters or something like that, because that may be someone you want to thank, feel free to give this to them, anyway. I think it's good practice to thank your recommenders after the fact anyway. They'll really appreciate it, that you kind of put the extra thought in. And focus your essay on someone who's really affected you on an emotional level and changed your motivation or perspective and shaped your values. So not just someone, they're thanking that you were thanking that like did something for you once, but somebody who has really affected your trajectory as a student, and who you have a real emotional bond with. And then lastly, the tone should be personal, but it still needs to be well written. So even if you're really close with whoever you're writing this for, and you could shoot them a thank you text, don't write this like a text. It should still be academic and professional. Specificity is really, really important. Generic explanations, like you made me more resilient, don't land. So you want to make sure that you really are fine-tuning this to not just your experience, but your experience with the person that you're thanking. And you can't tell a full story in 200 words. There's not enough space, but you can kind of hint at anecdotes, tie in some of your experiences together, or, I've had inside jokes with the teachers that I really like. So maybe, include some of that, to make it really feel like a personal piece. And that, I think, is, we have one more slide on prompt 1. Can't keep count. Stay away from inappropriate topics like romantic and sexual relationships. This is probably true of your app as a whole. As we mentioned before, you don't know who your reader is, so you want to make sure you're straying away from things that could be inappropriate or divisive. So that's going to be a no-go for this prompt as well. You can write about in a negative experience, that you grew from. So thanking someone in spite of them having caused you harm, but you also have to show personal growth and forgiveness for this to really be effective.
Yeah. And I think that maybe the only exception I would say to that first one is sometimes folks who have been in, I guess, abusive personal relationships, I've seen a couple of times where that essay has sort of been, I guess, tilted on its head, where you're almost like thanking that person in a more, I guess, sarcastic way of thank you for helping me grow, I guess, or just even just a negative. It doesn't have to be an abusive one, but just the negative relationship, thank you for helping me grow in these specific ways. But that is sometimes risky because you can kind of depending on the context, it can either be very uncomfortable for the reader, or You can come off as sort of being condescending. So like I've seen it done effectively before, but it is a lot harder, and that's why we tend to say, stay away from inappropriate topics, stay away from like explicit language. Certainly, even if you are going to write about something like that.